Imagine if I told you that most men today are quietly losing ground, not from a lack of skill, but from a lack of inner grit. We scroll endlessly, compare ourselves to others, and feel the sting of envy. Then we wonder why we're stuck, fragile, or adrift. We chase comfort, but end up exhausted. We dodge hardship, yet suffer daily in silence. The truth cuts deep. Comfort is slowly eroding our strength. Hardship, though brutal, holds the key to true power. The Stoics of ancient Rome understood this long before smartphones, social media, or self-help gurus. Marcus Aurelius, the warrior emperor and Stoic philosopher, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Grasp this truth, and you'll uncover a reservoir of strength." This isn't just a quote, it's a battle-tested mindset, a way to stand firm amid chaos. Stoicism doesn't make life softer, it forges you into an unbreakable force. In this video, we'll dive into 8 raw Stoic principles to elevate your mental, emotional, and spiritual resilience. No fluff here. This is about real change, grounded in the unyielding truths of Stoicism, proven in ancient Rome and still piercingly relevant today. Before we start, I ask one thing: if you're serious about growth, don't treat this as just another motivational clip. This isn't background noise, it's a wake-up call for your soul. Hit that like button now. Comment when a truth hits you hard. Share this with a brother who needs to hear it. Above all, don't skip a single part. Each principle you miss could be the clarity or courage you need in a pivotal moment. Let's get to it. First, embrace discomfort as your ally. Society tells us to flee pain, but the Stoics taught us to face it head-on, eyes wide open. Think back to your greatest growth. Did it come when life was easy, lounging in comfort, or when life knocked you down, forcing you to choose rise or crumble? Marcus Aurelius faced wars, betrayal, and illness, yet stayed unshaken. He didn't shy from discomfort. He welcomed it as a forge for his character. The obstacle to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus said, "This isn't poetry, it's a law. Every hurdle is a chance to sharpen your will. Every delay tests your patience. Every rejection teaches resilience." Modern life says, avoid suffering. Stoicism whispers, train with it. That cold shower is a challenge. The tough conversation is a path. That grueling workout when you're drained is where character is built. The Stoics believed choosing controlled discomfort prepares you for life's chaos. When the storm hits, you're ready because you've trained for it. Seneca, another Stoic, slept on the floor, ate simple food, wore rough clothes, not to punish himself, but to temper his spirit. Why? So when life strips away comfort, you don't flinch. You're prepared. Discomfort isn't the enemy, it's a mirror, showing you who you are and who you're becoming. We dodge small pains today, only to face greater ones tomorrow. But if you walk through the fire with purpose, something extraordinary happens. You stop fearing pain. That's the dawn of true freedom. From now on, see discomfort as your training partner. It may bruise you, but it's building you. Choose one small discomfort today. Act now. No excuses. Take that cold shower. Have that hard talk. Sit with boredom. Remind yourself, this is how warriors are forged. The only path to invincibility is to stop running from the grind. In the comments, write, "This discomfort is my training ground." Second, don't let emotions steer your ship. How often do your emotions hijack your day? Someone's rude, and you snap. Plan change, and your mood tanks. You feel lazy, so you skip the gym, work, or discipline. We've all been there. But here's the harsh truth: if emotions drive you, you're their slave. The Stoics saw emotional slavery as worse than physical chains. Epictetus, once a slave himself, became a Stoic master and said, "Anyone who makes you angry becomes your master. They only do so if you let their actions disturb you." Think about it. That driver who cut you off, you handed them your peace. That breakup, you gave it your identity. That harsh comment online, you traded your joy. Stoicism doesn't ask you to ignore emotions. It teaches you to observe, understand, and respond, not react. That's the difference between a child and a Stoic. A child screams. A Stoic sits calmly in the storm and thinks. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man of his time, wrote in his private journal, later called Meditations, "If you're troubled by something external, the pain isn't from the thing itself, but from your judgment of it. And you can change that judgment any time." This is a rare kind of power, to remain unmoved by things not worth your energy. It's tough, because it means you can't blame others anymore. You can't say, "He made me mad," or "She ruined my day." You realize it's all on you. Your reaction is your choice. But that's what makes you strong. You can choose again. You're not a slave to emotions. You can be angry, yet not act on it. Scared, yet still move forward. Sad, yet not drown in it. That's emotional strength. The Stoics' freedom. Next time you're triggered, pause. Don't act rashly. Breathe deeply. Ask, "Does this emotion serve me now?" Respond with purpose. This isn't about being cold, it's about mastering yourself. When emotions no longer rule you, you gain clarity, calm, and power. You show up steady, and people notice. You're no longer swayed by petty slights. You stand tall. In today's emotional chaos, that stability is rare. It draws respect and can't be shaken. True maturity begins when you stop being a puppet and become the master. Third, stop expecting fairness. Life owes you nothing. The fastest way to suffer is to expect fairness. Let that sink in. You work hard, but a slacker gets the promotion. You love deeply, but they walk away. You do right, yet get punished. Anger rises. It's not fair. But the Stoic truth is clear. Fairness is a myth we created, not a universal law. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You can commit injustice by doing nothing." Even as Roman emperor, he saw unfairness daily. Instead of whining or blaming, he leaned into a rock-solid truth. Life isn't about fairness, it's about strength. The Stoics never expected kindness from the world. They anticipated pain, loss, betrayal, and change. Because they were mentally prepared, they were ready to face anything. Be brutally honest. Fairness is a nice idea, but clinging to it weakens you. Saying, "This isn't fair," often means "I don't like this feeling and want to avoid it." But the Stoic law is clear. You don't grow by demanding fairness. You grow by facing reality and moving forward. Look around. Good men face bad outcomes. The wicked sometimes win. Effort doesn't always equal reward. This isn't pessimism, it's life. What separates the ordinary from the unstoppable is this: ordinary men wait for fairness. Stoics build inner strength, so nothing external can break them. This doesn't mean you become cold or detached. It means you stop waiting for the world to treat you right and start treating yourself with strength, no matter what comes. Seneca said, "Sometimes just surviving is an act of courage, especially when life isn't fair. Here's how you do it. Instead of complaining, let pain fuel your drive. Hone your skills so sharply, no one can ignore you. Love deeply without expecting return. Face betrayal and walk on with dignity." The Stoic approach is radical responsibility, not because it's always your fault, but because it's always your move. You can't control life's punches, but you always control your response. A steady, calm, resilient response makes you unstoppable. Fairness isn't promised, but freedom is earned through every strong choice you make. Fourth, focus on what you can control and let go of the rest. The Stoics believed your power lies in a small circle of control. Everything outside it, let it go. Epictetus put it simply: make the best use of what's in your power and take the rest as it comes. Most men fall into the trap of trying to control others, predict the future, or obsess over outcomes. Then they wonder why they're anxious, helpless, or angry. Break it down: what's truly in your control. Your thoughts, choices, actions, reactions. The rest, others' opinions, luck, or uncertainty, those are beyond you. You can't control the weather, but you can choose your coat. You can't control if people like you, but you can control how you treat them. You can't control the economy, but you can control your learning, spending, and preparation. This shift in focus is massive. It hands you back your power instead of letting external forces drag you around. Picture yourself in a storm at sea. A Stoic doesn't yell at the wind. He grips the helm and steers. That's why you stay calm when others panic, focused when others complain, disciplined when others slack. It's not about pretending the outside world doesn't matter. It's about choosing what deserves your attention. Most of what people stress over is out of their control. Try this when you're stressed. Ask, is this in my control? If yes, act. If not, let it go. Simple. Yes. Easy. No. Powerful. Absolutely. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you control your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you'll find strength. Live it, and others will see it. You become unshakable, not because you control everything, but because you master yourself, no matter what happens. In a world addicted to ease, discipline is your superpower. Stoics didn't wait for life to test them. They challenged themselves first. Not to suffer, but to grow stronger. Not to punish, but to prepare. Seneca wrote, set aside days where you're content with meager food, rough clothes, and ask, is this what I feared? This is deliberate hardship, a chosen moment to forge an unbreakable spirit. Most men today avoid discomfort at all costs. They never skip a meal, sit in silence, or go without luxury. But when life gets tough, they crumble, panic, or blame others. The Stoics were ready for hard days because they trained for them. They practiced hunger, fatigue, rejection, and boredom. This didn't make them invincible, it made them adaptable. You don't build willpower by watching motivational videos. You build it by deliberately doing what you'd rather avoid. Try fasting for 24 hours to remind yourself you control your desires. Take a cold shower despite your mind's protests. Say no to a luxury you can afford to practice restraint. Wake up early to train when your body begs to stay in bed. These small choices stack up, making you formidable over time, not because you're cruel to yourself, but because you know the truth. Comfort doesn't strengthen you. Challenge do. When hardship comes, as it always will, you don't flee, you smile, because you've walked through fire before. Marcus Aurelius ruled during plagues, wars, and betrayals, yet wrote with calm clarity. Why hardship didn't catch him off guard, it was what he expected. When you expect difficulty, it loses its power to paralyze you. Instead of asking, "How do I make life easier?" ask, "How do I make myself stronger?" Train in hunger, solitude, cold, fatigue, rejection, and boredom. Stay focused through it all, because one day life will throw more at you than you think you can handle, and when it does, you'll stand tall. Sixth, let go of outcomes and embrace the process. We're taught to obsess over results: landing the job, winning the deal, hitting the goal, earning money, gaining admiration. But Stoicism flips the script: release the outcome and master your process. Why outcomes are never guaranteed, but your effort is always in your control. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life." It comes when you stop caring about what's beyond your control. Clinging to outcomes creates suffering. You hit the gym for a week, si nous baiser, and quit. You start a project, it fails, and you feel worthless. You love someone, they leave, and you break. But what if you loved the work itself, showing up, building, thinking, learning, striving? That's the Stoic path. When you focus on the process, you win every time, even if the result falls short. Ironically, letting go of needing outcomes often leads to better ones, because you're not desperate. You're not swayed by emotions or driven by validation. You're rooted in your actions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't let the future trouble you. You'll meet it, if you must, with the same reason you use against the present." Stop worrying about what might happen. Own your process now. Focus on the work in front of you, every step, every choice. That's where your power lies. When you master the process, you're free from the weight of what-ifs. You become a man who acts with purpose, not a man chasing applause. Seventh, face your mortality to live fully. The Stoics practiced memento mori. Remember, you will die, not to be grim, but to sharpen your focus. Life is short, and you can't choose when it ends. Every moment you waste is gone forever. Let that truth settle in your bones. Don't wait for someday. Don't fool yourself that you'll act later. Tomorrow isn't promised. The Stoics didn't shy from death. They stared it down to live with intention. When you grasp that time is finite, you stop squandering it on distractions, petty arguments, or settling for less. You start building, loving, acting now. Seneca said, "It's not that we have little time to live, but that we waste so much of it." You can't control how long you live, but you can control how deeply you live. The greatest lie is that you have plenty of time. You don't. That risk you've avoided. That work you've delayed. That person you need to forgive. That change you swore you'd make next year. This is your moment. The Stoics didn't fear death. They used it to say, "You won't catch me sleepwalking through life." This awareness doesn't make you anxious. It makes you alive. A man who truly sees his mortality, speaks truth, loves openly, works with urgency, lets go of ego, and fears no failure, because the real failure is a wasted life. Live like your time is borrowed, because it is. That's when you become magnetic, focused, and strong. You don't chase cheap validation. You act with purpose, and others feel it. Eighth, live for virtue, not applause. The Stoics acted for honor, not the crowd. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do what's right, and the rest doesn't matter." Live with integrity, even when no one's watching. Speak truth, even if no one claps. Keep your word, even at a cost. Train hard, even without an audience. That's virtue. It builds a soul that can't be bought. It's not about perfection, but principle. The hardest part, doing right, is often the toughest choice. Lying is easier than honesty. Pleasing others is simpler than standing firm. Seeking approval feels better than standing alone. But every time you choose what's right over what's easy, you sharpen yourself. You become a man your future self can respect, with an identity no one can steal. Seneca urged us to live as if the world could see our every thought and deed. That's power. A life unshaken by pressure, built on truth. In a world of facades, the Stoic is real. In chaos, he's calm. In a world of performance, he's authentic. To be unstoppable. Don't live for praise. Live for your values. Even if you lose status, wealth, or followers, you'll stand tall. Be a warrior for what's right, not what's popular. Walk your path, even alone, knowing it's the only one that matters. If you've made it this far, something in you is ready to rise. Leave behind distractions, weakness, and emotional chaos. Step into something greater, not perfection, but power, not controlling others, but mastering yourself. That's the Stoic way. It doesn't promise comfort, it delivers clarity. It offers direction. It gives you a life of meaning, even when the world crumbles around you. Marcus, Seneca, Epictetus, they didn't write for an easy world. They wrote to survive storms, wars, betrayal, and death with dignity. They taught that true strength isn't in muscles or money, but in the man who keeps his word, faces fear without flinching, and does right when it's hardest. You don't need motivation or the perfect moment. You need to start now. Train your mind. Prepare for the fight. Let go of outcomes. Hold fast to principle. Live like your time is running out, because it is. The beauty is, you don't need applause, praise, or understanding. On the Stoic path, you become unshakable from within. And that strength is rare. It's real. It's yours. In the comments, write this: I grow stronger every day. If this message stirs you, if it lights a fire, don't keep it to yourself. Like the video, share your favorite principle, and pass it to someone on their own journey. Subscribe to join a community of thinkers, warriors, and men who want more than noise, a life of purpose. Don't skip any part of this life. Every moment is training. Every choice is transformation. Keep showing up. Keep choosing strength. And don't stop until you're unstoppable. The Stoic path is a call to rise above, to live with clarity and courage. It's not about fleeting comfort, it's about lasting power. Join us, and let's build something enduring together. Now, go become the man you were meant to be.